Your greatest fear and your greatest strength are two sides of the same coin. In this session, we go deep into the things that keep these high performers up at night. Fear of irrelevance, fear of the clock, or fear of judgment, and the unique superpowers they have developed to push through them. What is your big fear?
My biggest fear would be to just not evolve as an artist, or to be, as a society would accept you, or be successful as an artist, or to be able to just to really make a living career out of it full time. But I always remind myself that I'm not doing it for money. It's coming from what I love doing. It's also therapy to me. So that's what's always thrown that idea out of the way. But I would say that's the closest thing of fear being an artist, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand. Rita, what about you?
I fear not being good enough. My film Six Pack it got really bad reviews.
Sorry.
If I can be honest, it got really bad reviews, and it knocked me out of the game for a minute in filmmaking. And I find it very tough to not let external opinions become my governing narrative, like how I see myself. I got into filmmaking because I wanted to share the stories on my blog. And I wanted to tell coming of age stories, and I wanted to uplift my community. What I do, how I do filmmaking is very grassroots. But it's not the way folks typically do filmmaking right now. And sometimes I find myself in situations where I'm talking about my creative endeavors or my films, and I find myself in circles with people who just don't think it's good enough. You didn't make Sundance. You didn't make South by Southwest. And so without these credentials, then you're not good enough for people. And I fear that if I never get those stamps of approval, that I'll never be good enough, and it'll make me want to quit. Like, actually, that would be my biggest fear, quitting something I really love.
We'll see.
Solving these complex problems has always been my passion. So will I keep doing it? Yes, I would. Every time, every weekend, every other weekend, I have something or the other. Whether I work for myself or for a company, there are plenty of problems to solve. That is something of an energy that I feed on. Yeah, sometimes I spend too much time on some problems. I'm like, am I wasting my time sometimes? Because I go back, fix things, solve them again, spend a few months, then think about it again, did I solve it right? So solving it not the right way is my biggest fear. Then, let's say, for example, having success, selling that to somebody else. For the most part, I do it for the passion of it. But at the same time, since I have a job, 9-to-5 job I can depend on, so the fear that, I might not be able to make it big, for example, does not really, make me fearful in a way.
What about you, Coco?
Not enough time to do everything I want to do. That's one thing. There's a second one, which is that I think, we talk so much about the marketing, the selling, and, connecting, running analytics, doing minimum viable product, everything.
Yeah.
And there are some moments where I fear that I think too much about that, and I'm forgetting about like purpose and my voice. And because what if what I want to say to the world is not marketable, or is less marketable than, say, like what the trends say you should be writing about or saying or doing. And so kind of fighting through that, and also kind of being able to identify when you not only have just like a good idea or a good product or something that people say, on the surface level that they're interested in, or that it's cool.
Well, they always tell you that.
Right, exactly.
And then they don't buy it.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they'll never tell you.
Right.
And they'll never tell you why.
Yeah.
Or if they say we don't want it, and they tell you why, it may not be the real reason why.
Exactly. Yeah. And so really digging deep and, being able to have that gut feeling or that instinct that you really have like a treasure and pouring your time and your energy and your effort into that, as opposed to something that might seem like a good idea but might be more mediocre, and again, you should like move on.
What is your personal superpower, your greatest strength? I know you have a lot of strengths, but the biggest strength that just right now, what is the greatest strength that you have, Wasim?
I'm a diehard optimist. I see in the worst puzzle situations, positivity. My wife is like, "What? Do you really mean that?" I'm like, "No, I see it. I see it. It's clear as day for me." And negativity does not kind of bring me down. No, I'm always positive. I stay positive. I keep working. I think that's what keeps me going. Just be positive. Doesn't matter what. You're alive. Do something.
What about you, Rita?
Motivation, upliftment. I am on fire about making sure people feel good about themselves. I love bringing good energy. I love hearing people, considering them, and motivating them in any way I possibly can. So that's my superpower.
What about you, Ian?
Trauma as a kid, losing my mom at 5 to suicide. My father was never around. When you go through these kind of emotions as a 5-year-old, it's your biggest trauma, and that also becomes your superpower. Because now as an adult, you've been through so much. You've been against the ground. You've gone through everything, and when you can rise up and be positive, that becomes your superpower, and it also resonates. That people can feel that energy within you. So I believe that's my superpower.
Yeah. And you?
I don't take no for an answer.
Love that.
One thing that people tend to say about me is that if there's something that I want to do or that I want done, it's going to happen. I really believe in manifesting. I really believe in never giving up, of course, and that it's never really quitting. It's nothing you can do is ever quitting. It's just, developing, moving on. So I think in a way, like fearless persistence will kind of be like my Bible. So
It takes courage to name your fear, but once you do, you can identify the strength that exists to counter it. Whether your superpower is hard optimism or relentless determination, that is your fuel for persistence. The strongest leaders show vulnerability. That's the roadmap for your power.